In today's show, I have a Bitcoin price prediction to share with you. The Bitcoin price may top $500,000, says ARK CEO, and she even explains why. That's right, with Bitcoin nearly touching $19,000, many analysts are of the opinion that the benchmark crypto still has room to grow to as much as $500,000. That's right, institutional investors are now ramping up their purchase of Bitcoins. ARK Invest Catherine Wood suggests that if all institutions would assign even a mid-single digit allocation to Bitcoin on their portfolio, its value would increase tremendously. She goes on to share the cryptocurrency could rise to somewhere in the $400,000 to $500,000 range. I'll be breaking this down for you in today's show. Also, breaking news, Bitcoin is now larger than the world's biggest banks. That's right, once Bitcoin touched that $350 billion market cap, it's now bigger than JP Morgan Chase and all the largest banks across the world. Also, more breaking news, Bitcoin just had its second highest weekly candle close ever. Talk about being bullish on BTC. Also, check this out. Are we experiencing a Bitcoin shortage? Pantera thinks so, as the market rally driven by PayPal buys. Now check this out. PayPal bought 70% of all the newly mined Bitcoin last month as demand continues to skyrocket. We'll be discussing this in today's show. Also in today's episode, we'll be talking about the US dollar squeeze and a $19,000 Bitcoin and 5 things to watch out for in the Bitcoin market this week. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. As you can see, a sea of green. Bitcoin and all the major altcoins are breaking out, but where's the Bitcoin price likely to go from here? Find out all this, plus so much more in today's show. Here at Crypto News Alerts, I drop a brand new episode every single day, so be sure to smash that subscribe button. That's right, and turn on all notifications to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every single day, just like this. And before I kick off today's show, if interested in tapping into OPM, leveraging other people's money to grow your wealth and crypto portfolio, then smash that link right below the video in the description. All right, welcome back to another episode of Crypto News Alerts. I'm your host, JV, and let's kick it off by diving into today's top story of the day. I got a very bullish Bitcoin price prediction for you. Bitcoin may top $500,000, says ARK CEO Catherine Wood, and she explains why. Allow me to break it down. With Bitcoin nearly touching 19,000, I feel we're about to touch 19,000. We're at the cusp, so this can happen any moment. I also feel very confident that we're about to break that $20,000 all-time high and return to price discovery mode. And from there, there's no telling how high we can climb. Let me know when you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to crush that 20K ATH. Drop me a comment right down below. Many analysts are of the opinion that Bitcoin still has room to grow to as much as $500,000. Institutional investors are now ramping up their purchases of Bitcoin. ARK Invest Catherine Wood suggests that if all institutions would assign even a mid-single-digit allocation to Bitcoin on their portfolio, its value would increase tremendously. She goes on to share the cryptocurrency could rise to somewhere in the $400,000 to $500,000 range, she told news outlet Barron's during an online event. Now, Catherine Wood said institutions have been increasing their allocation of Bitcoin, and their numbers are increasing significantly. The ARK Investment CEO compared this movement to the early days when institutions first moved to real estate and emerging markets. She goes on to share, they started out with a 0.5% allocation, then 1%, then 5%. She said, Bitcoin is seen by investors, retail, and institutions alike as a digital version of gold or as a hedge against inflation. That's right, as the money printer continue to go, how are you going to protect those funds against hyperinflation? You move it into Bitcoin. That's how you do it. The weakening dollar contributed to this Bitcoin is digital gold narrative. That's a fact. Quantitative easing or the effort to put more cash into the financial system to jolt the economy, with spending has weakened the dollar. You can say that again. This served as a catalyst for even large companies, including the publicly listed Microstrategy, to turn much of their cash reserves into Bitcoin last August. In fact, they invested over $500 million of their balance sheet into the king of all crypto, which is now worth over $700 billion and fast approaching a crazy amount of money. Just saying. As pointed out right here, Microstrategy's Bitcoin treasure is now worth $710 billion, up 67% since they made this allocation. Pretty amazing, isn't it? Wood also noted that Bitcoin supply is definite at 21 million BTC. So far, only 18.5 million have already been mined. If institutional investors take a greater interest into the king of all crypto, it could send the price even higher, she added. That's a fact. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments below. Bitcoin just closed Sunday at $18,437. As Lark Davis points out right here, Bitcoin just had its second highest weekly candle close ever. Talk about being bullish on the king of all crypto. After after reaching a high of 18,900 the previous day, a new 2020 high for the benchmark crypto. Now check this out. Bitcoin was the best performing major crypto in the past month, increasing by a whopping 36% in the last 30 days, and also up 158% since the beginning of the year, and up a whopping 380% since March of 2020. So let me know where you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to go from here. Do you see us smashing that 20K all-time high, possibly by the end of this week? If not, when do you feel that's likely to happen? And regarding this $500,000 Bitcoin price prediction from ARK Invest Catherine Wood, when do you feel this is likely to occur? Drop me a comment right down below. Now let's check out the latest from Tyler Winklevoss, who points out Bitcoin is now larger than the world's biggest banks. That's right. Once the Bitcoin market cap touched 350 billion, we're now larger than JP Morgan Chase, sitting at 349 billion, the ICBC China, which is the largest bank in China, at 251 billion, and BAC USA, I believe that's Bank of America, at 231 billion, and the CCB in China at 192 billion. Talk about being bullish on the king of all crypto. This is only the beginning. As the Winklevoss twins love to point out, they made the case for a $500,000 Bitcoin price just a few months back. They believe that the Bitcoin market cap will surpass the $9 to $10 trillion market cap of gold. And when that occurs, we can expect at least a $500,000 Bitcoin price, which is in alignment with the prediction from Catherine Wood. So I wanted to point that out. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments right down below. And before I break down our next story of the day with a potential Bitcoin shortage, as Pantera Capital thinks the market rally driven by PayPal buys, and it is a fact that PayPal bought 70% of all newly minted Bitcoin last month as demand continues to skyrocket. But let's first take a look at the overall crypto market. We can see Bitcoin pumping and surging once again, up about 2.5%, trading just above 18,500. I'd love to see Bitcoin retest that critical 18,800 to 18,900 resistance. I feel once we can flip that into support, then we'll be at $20,000 in no time. I predict this occurs by the end of this week. We have Ethereum breaking out, reaching a new high we haven't seen in several years, about to touch $600, up 12.5% for the day. We have XRP up a whopping 13%, surging again, now trading just above 49 cents. It's funny, as just a couple of days ago, XRP was trading at like 30 cents. So this is a pretty major breakout for XRP. I know a lot of you who have been waiting a long time for this breakout. We have Cardano up a whopping 18% as well, trading above 15 cents. It's good to see the alt market pumping once again as the Bitcoin dominance has been back on the decline. We have missed Litecoin up 7%, trading at $88. So as you can see, it's a sea of green. It's a beautiful thing. All right, now let's break down our next story of the day, shall we? PayPal bought up to 70% of all the newly mined Bitcoin since the payments giant started offering crypto services just 4 weeks ago. I also like to point out, once they made that announcement, I mean, Bitcoin has been surging. It's a beautiful thing. Now check this out. According to the estimates by hedge fund manager Pantera Capital, as revealed in its latest monthly blockchain letter, together with Square's Cash App, the two companies are buying more than 100% of all newly issued Virgin Bitcoin. It says, the letter said demand for PayPal's crypto service, which runs on Paxos fiat to crypto exchange Itbit, had hit the roof. The exchange was doing a fairly constant amount of trading volume, but when PayPal went live, volume started exploding, it observed, adding, the increase in Itbit volume implies that within 4 weeks of going live, PayPal is already buying almost 70% of the newly supply of Bitcoins. Talk about massive institutional demand. As you can see right here, implied PayPal Bitcoin purchases via Itbit volume soaring at an all-time high. PayPal announced in late October that its customers, running in excess of 300 million active users worldwide, that's active users, will now be able to buy, hold, and sell Bitcoin and other digital assets using their PayPal accounts. The decision also meant users could use their coins to buy things from the 26 million merchants that accept PayPal. It said PayPal rolled out the crypto service to US customers early this month, with the rest of the world set to be integrated later. So what you're witnessing right now, with PayPal purchasing 70% of the newly mined Bitcoin supply, that's with only rolling this out to their US customer database. Now also have to consider that their worldwide user base is even larger than in the United States. Pretty massive, right? Now, Bitcoin prices rose alongside the PayPal news, breaching $12,000 at the time the service was announced, and has maintained the bullish momentum ever since, hitting a 3-year high of almost $18,900 on November 20th, and while on the cusp of breaking that 20K ATH. Now, Pantera Capital noted that PayPal crypto service is already having a huge impact. That's a fact. As shown in the graph I shared with you, it predicted that the growth persists. PayPal alone would be buying more than all the newly issued Bitcoin within weeks. That's right. The letter also argues that Bitcoin's current rally is much more sustainable than 2017's because of rising institutional demand from entities such as PayPal, Cash App, and Robinhood, which make buying Bitcoin easy. They go on to share. Previously, the friction to buy Bitcoin was pretty onerous. Take a selfie with your passport, wait days to a week to get activated, daily limits, said the letter. Data shows Bitcoin's current rally has a large part being driven by institutional buyers. According to the BitcoinTreasuries.org website, which curates Bitcoin investments by publicly traded companies, about 21 firms, including MicroStrategy, Galaxy Digital Holdings, hold a combined $14.42 billion worth of Bitcoins in their reserve. That's 832,351 Bitcoin. Whoa, or over 4% of Bitcoin's circulating supply. A number of these purchases have happened in the last few months, pushing the price of Bitcoin even higher. Pantera Capital says the shortage of Bitcoin resulting from high corporate demand means that the likes of Cash App, which recently reported a record $1.6 billion in Bitcoin revenue, will have to pay more for each coin. When other larger financial institutions follow their Cash App lead, the supply scarcity will become even more imbalanced. The only way supply and demand equilibrates is at a higher price, it explained. So expect the Bitcoin price to go up. Just saying. And before I break down our next story of the day and we discuss the US dollar squeeze and a $19,000 Bitcoin price, and I share with you the 5 things to watch out for in the Bitcoin market this week, let's first take a look at the overall crypto market cap, sitting at a whopping $548 billion with $213 billion in volume in the past 24 hours. And Bitcoin dominance has been back on the decline at 63% even. Now checking out the top gainers within the top 100, we have Horizon up a whopping 41%, trading at $11.23. Numeraire up 35%, trading at $35. We have Waves up 28%, trading at $8. Nano up 18%, trading at $1.05. And IOTA up almost 18%, trading just above 35 cents. And now checking out the biggest losers within the top 100, we have Hedge Trade down 9%, trading at 68 cents. Ample Fourth down 1.6%, trading at $1.15. BBC Coin down 0.8%, trading at 23 cents. And Rebound down 0.15%, trading at 1 cent. So as you can see, there's not many losers, as most the altcoins are currently pumping, which is a beautiful thing to see. Now, which altcoins in particular are you most bullish on? Drop me a comment right down below. And now checking out the Binance Margins, we can see the bears are back in control, leading with 51.4% shorts versus 48.5% longs. Are you currently bullish or bearish on the king of all crypto? Holla at your boy. And now checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, one of my favorite indicators, shows we're currently rated a 90 in extreme greed. Yesterday was a 94, and last week a 90 in extreme greed as well, and last month a 73 in greed. And if you're not familiar with the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, extreme fear can be a sign investors are too worried. That can be a great buying opportunity, aka BTFD, buy that freaking dip. And when investors are getting too greedy, like we're witnessing right now, that means the market is due for a correction. All right, and before I break down our final story of the day, I do some Bitcoin technical analysis as well as share with you the 5 things to watch out for in the Bitcoin market this week. First, I want to remind you to smash that show more button right below this video in the description for a detailed analysis of what's going on in the market. This goes for all 600 plus videos right here on my YouTube channel. Also some very helpful resources for you to plug into, including the blog to my podcast, which could be found at cryptonewsyes.com. Also be sure to smash that subscribe button to receive daily crypto news alerts just like this. It also helps support the channel. If you're listening on a different platform outside of YouTube, the direct YouTube link is cryptonewsalerts.net. You can also follow me on all the major podcasting platforms, from Spotify, the home of the Joe Rogan Experience, to Apple's iTunes. You can also follow me on Twitter to receive daily crypto news alerts. My Twitter handle is Crypto News Yes. And for those of you active on Facebook, I do have a private crypto Facebook group entitled Crypto Alchemy with over 17,000 cryptopreneurs from all over the world. To become a part of it, simply click this link, request to join. I'll be sure to plug you in. And for those of you active on Telegram, I do have a private crypto Telegram chat. To join it, click this link. You'll automatically be added, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you personally on the inside. All right, now let's break down our final story of the day. Bitcoin starts another week at a near historic high as the US dollar continues to drop. But what's next? That's the million-dollar question, right? With investors seeking safe havens and Bitcoin already seeing a demand squeeze, Cointelegraph covers the factors that could further shape the price action this week. Let's start with the dollar descending to familiar lows. News from the US that mass vaccination against the coronavirus pandemic may begin within a month has sent investors panicking for hedge assets, with multiple candidates now available among potential vaccines. The mood is tending towards worldwide recovery emerging, which means the dollar becomes less appealing compared to other destinations. The vaccine news is favoring the view of a sooner rather than later global economic recovery, with the US dollar losing its safe haven appeal along the way. Rodrigo Catril, a currency strategist at National Australia Bank, told Bloomberg the following: "This is risk positive US negative backdrop, especially with the Fed likely to remain ultra dovish for some time. The US dollar currency index, which tracks USD against a basket of 20 trading partner currencies, has fallen lower, seen twice since August, with monthly losses totaling near 2.2%. As Cointelegraph reports, the dollar tends to show an inverse correlation to Bitcoin, meaning protracted weakness comes in tandem with stronger Bitcoin/USD performance. As you can see right here on your screen, this is the US dollar currency index on the 3-month chart. According to TradingView, the outlook for the dollar remains uncertain thanks to also the risk of fresh sanctions by the White House on Chinese tech firms, details of which are expected this week. The next major factor to be aware of: supply squeeze, the biggest story in Bitcoin. With Bitcoin, the emergent narrative that buyers are simply demanding more coins than can be produced continues. As I pointed out earlier, we're talking about a buying crisis right now with a very limited Bitcoin supply and massive demand. As noted previously, this is being driven by corporate entities, notably Grayscale, Square's Cash App, and PayPal, with the requirements of the three only rising with time as more clients choose to buy BTC. The result is that miners see their block subsidies snapped up, and the only way for the buy side to plug the gap is to pay higher prices per coin. PayPal and Cash App are already buying more than 100% of all newly issued Bitcoins. Investment firm Pantera Capital summarized in a blog, which I pointed out earlier right here in the show. The new market quote differs markedly from the last time that Bitcoin traded at levels near 20,000. Unlike then, various figures argue those buying this time are by definition in it for the long run. That's right, checking out this tweet from Cameron Winklevoss, one of the co-founders of the Gemini exchange. He wrote, "At 18,500, Bitcoin Google searches for Bitcoin have not seen an uptick. This is not a FOMO rally, it's steady hands. Few understand this." Touché. All right, now for the next major factor to be on the lookout for this week. Fundamentals stage a serious rebound. After its 4.82% increase last week, Bitcoin's network difficulty is set to lead a resurgence in fundamentals in 5 days' time. Difficulty in its automatic readjustments after every 2016 blocks are an essential feature in Bitcoin, allowing it to maintain constant block mining intervals without outside intervention and thus ensuring network stability. At the beginning of November, difficulty dropped by the most in 9 years in a single readjustment. This created a more accessible playing field for miners, with the expectation that increased activity would make difficulty rise again thanks to ensuing competition. As such, at the end of the week, difficulty should bounce upwards by an estimated 7.7%, almost reversing the impact of the previous dip and opening the path to new all-time highs. That occurs later this week, so keep your eyes on this. Also, likewise, Bitcoin's average hash rate, the estimated computing power dedicated to validating transactions, has hit a whopping 137 exahashes per second, rebounding 30% since the difficulty drop. Now, the 7-day average hash rate's all-time high is currently lying at 146 exahashes per second, this appearing in mid-October. I also like to point out that the Bitcoin price follows the hash rate. Max Kaiser often talks about this. Shout out to Max Kaiser of the Kaiser Report. Now, the next major factor to be on the lookout for, as PlanB points out, big price gains are yet to come. Zooming out even slightly, it's still a cause for major bullishness among some of Bitcoin's best-known analysts. For PlanB, the creator of the stock-to-flow model, the real upside for Bitcoin is still yet to come, despite monthly gains already totaling a whopping 43%. So get your seatbelt strapped and get ready to go to the moon. This is due to historical behavior after block subsidy halving events. In 2012 and 2016, upside ensued months after the halving, but serious gains came the following year and look more like a tsunami than a slowly increasing tide. That's right, let's check out this tweet from PlanB, the creator of the stock-to-flow model. He wrote, "Current Bitcoin price action is nice, but we are waiting for a real jump like the red arrows early 2013 and 2017, as he points out right here in this graph. In my opinion, that will be the start of the real bull market and indeed phase 5 of the stock to flow. Could it be January 2021? Let me know your thoughts in the comments right down below. But see where we're currently at? You see that question mark right here at the end of this chart? This signifies another epic parabolic rally. It's all about timing. And as he pointed out, the year preceding the halving is when the market goes parabolic like a tsunami, just saying. And checking out some of the responses, one lib wrote, how many percent of price will make that dot jump? And PlanB pointed out 60% plus, 2013 was during Cyprus bail-in, where the government stole all people's bank savings above $100,000 in euros. 2017 was Japan and Australia legal clarity, Bitcoin legal and no VAT. This legal clarity stopped the exodus of fintech companies out of Japan and Australia. All I'm saying is this: do not keep your wealth or money in the bank. And for those of you not familiar with the infamous stock to flow model, it's important to point out that the stock to flow X predicts a $100,000 Bitcoin price by the end of next year and a $288,000 Bitcoin price medium average between the years 2020 and 24. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the stock to flow model. All right, now for the last factor to be on the lookout for this week is the Crypto Greed and Fear Index. A concerning counter argument to further gains for Bitcoin last week came in the form of worrying readings from the Crypto Greed and Fear Index. Using a basket of factors to measure investor sentiment, the index almost matched highs from 2019, which culminated in a significant price drop as of Monday. However, the metric's current extreme greed rating that I pointed out earlier here in the show of market sentiment is slowly beginning to ease off, dropping from a whopping 94 out of 100 to 90 out of 100. As I shared with you right here, you can see today is a 90, yesterday an extreme greed with a 94, which is ultimately as high as I've ever seen it. Extreme greed refers to the rapidly deteriorating strength of investor resolve as prices increase, signaling the increasing likelihood of a sell-off. Now for a quick recap of what I covered with you right here in today's show, I shared with you a very bullish Bitcoin price prediction coming from the ARK CEO, Catherine Wood, who shared Bitcoin may top $500,000, and she even breaks down why that is, as I shared with you here in today's show. As Tyler Winklevoss points out, Bitcoin is now larger than the world's biggest banks. Talk about being bullish. And as Lark Davis points out, Bitcoin just had its second highest weekly candle close ever in Bitcoin history. Also pointed out that Microstrategys business treasure is now worth a whopping $710 billion, up 67.1%. In today's show, I also shared with you that PayPal bought 70% of all newly minted Bitcoin last month as demand rockets, and it's expected to continue as they roll this out worldwide to their entire customer base of over 300 million active users. Also in today's show, I shared with you the US dollar squeeze and $19,000 Bitcoin and 5 things to watch out for in the Bitcoin market this week. So where do you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to go from here? Drop me a comment right down below. Well, that's going to conclude today's show. As always, I appreciate you tuning in and journeying along with me inside this incredible crypto matrix. If you gain value out of today's show, be sure to smash that subscribe button. That's right, and turn on all notifications to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every single day, just like this. And real quick before I go, if interested in tapping into OPM, leveraging other people's money to grow your wealth and crypto portfolio, then smash that link right below the video in the description and register for this free system. You'll be glad you did, and I look forward to seeing you on tomorrow's episode. Peace.